My question is to the Prime Minister. Today, the Labor government has backflipped again, issuing an entry permit for yet another dangerous ISIS terrorist sympathiser to enter Australia. Last night, in his annual threat assessment, the Director-General of ASIO declared that Islamic State and al-Qaeda and their affiliates are growing their capability to conduct and inspire attacks. Why does the Prime Minister keep rolling out the welcome mat for ISIS terrorist sympathisers?
Order. Give the call to the Prime Minister.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. I'm asked about the statement, the annual threat assessments of the Director-General of ASIO, and as part of the question from the self-described newly elected Member of Parliament there, what he has done in the language that was used.
Order.
Sure words.
All right, we'll just get the Prime Minister to pause for a moment so I can hear the manager.
No member be referred to by name or other things. You've got to actually use correct titles. I can go through the correct titles you're meant to use if it would help the House, but the Prime Minister is not doing that. Do you want me to do that? The member's ministerial office, the member's parliamentary office or the member's electoral division. That is what you're meant to use.
Yeah, well, that's a good cue to remind everyone that language matters, so no matter what descriptors are being used, great, we're going to keep everyone just to their titles. Fantastic. The order. No, that's important, an important principle. So the Prime Minister will continue and address people by their correct titles.
Mr Speaker, the Director-General of ASIO's comments are worth reading. And I ask people to think about what the Director-General of ASIO has said and then the language that was just used in that question. He said this: "I reckon a fair go for all could be a good place to start. I appreciate this is not traditional territory for a spy chief, but I firmly believe if more Australians, not just visitors, embrace the ethos of a fair go, mutual respect and tolerance, the temperature of our security environment would be several degrees lower. By all means disagree, but consider how we disagree. By all means protest, but consider how we protest. By all means report the news, but consider how you report the news. By all means condemn a government or a political party, but consider whether you should condemn a people. Despite the scale of this challenge, Australia is well placed to meet it. Our parliaments are sovereign, our communities are resilient, our economy is growing, and while we may not be perfect, our security and law enforcement agencies are world-class. We should not be insecure about our security. We can and should have confidence in our ability to respond. Mr Speaker, the Director-General of ASIO has my absolute confidence, and the Director-General of ASIO is an extraordinary Australian who—
Why would you interrupt that? Why would you interrupt that? Why would you interrupt saying something?
Order. We'll just wait. We'll just wait. The Leader of the Opposition, a point of order.
Yeah, point of order is relevance, Mr Speaker. The question was about rolling the welcome mat out for ISIS terrorists.
Order. The member for Cornwall. Prime Minister is being directly relevant when the question contained the statement about the Director-General's of ASIO's statement last night. The Prime Minister is reading directly about that statement to the House. He couldn't be more directly relevant for a statement that he was asked about. Prime Minister has the call.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. And the Leader of the Opposition couldn't have more effectively outlined what the problem that the Director-General of ASIO was identifying. Because the idea that anyone in this parliament is not totally opposed to ISIS and terrorism is something that has no place in this parliament. And what the Leader of the Opposition knows is that one of the things that defines our country and distinguishes us from authoritarian regimes is the rule of law.
Prime Minister's time has concluded.
Angus Taylor hits the Prime Minister square on. Labour's just rolled out the welcome mat for another ISIS-linked woman from Syria, right after the ASIO boss warned that Islamic State and its mates are ramping up their game. Albanese doesn't answer the question. He grabs the ASIO Director General's speech, cherry-picks the fair go for all line about tolerance and mutual respect, and uses it as a shield. Instead of explaining why they issued the permit to this woman with terrorist ties, he lectures everyone about language and accuses the coalition of painting all Muslims as the problem. Look, the ASIO chief did talk about lowering the temperature and giving people a fair go. Fair enough. But he also laid out a serious threat picture, growing capabilities from ISIS and Al-Qaeda, plots foiled, and a security environment that's deteriorated faster than expected. The public wants straight answers on border security and who we're letting back in, not a sermon on civility. This is the same government that's been under fire for months over ISIS brides and sympathisers. The coalition's been pushing hard to shut the door properly. Labour keeps falling back on the rule of law, and we can't stop citizens, while quietly issuing permits. Australians are rightly asking, whose side is this approach really protecting? Taylor called it out directly. Albanese pivoted to procedural points and moralising. The clash shows the divide. One side focused on practical security and accountability, the other on narrative control and not offending anyone. In tough times, voters want results, not lectures.